All right, top of the morning, good day, salute, como se va, how you doing? Buongiorno, good morning. Let's get with this story right now. This is an interesting story about the 'Ndrangheta based out of Italy. A lot of, some people know, some people don't know. Let's take a look at what this article tells us about the 'Ndrangheta and fact or fiction. Let's just see. It's a really interesting article. Salute to Shattered and my boy Michael S. They both sent me this article. So salute to you guys. Grazie, all right? Let's get down to business. Meet the 'Ndrangheta. It's time to bust some myths about the Calabrian mafia. All right, this came out on July 9th. Southern Italy's infamous 'Ndrangheta mafia has stretched its tentacles all over the world, but there are common misperceptions about how the brutal criminal group actually works. Criminologist and mafia expert Anna Sergi explains. How are you a mafia expert unless you're a snitch? Criminologist. I should have been a criminologist. The global war against mafias has a new number one enemy, the Calabrian 'Ndrangheta. At the center of drug busts and manhunts throughout Europe and around the world, this mafia group from the deepest south of Italy seems to be everywhere. The 'Ndrangheta dominates the drug trade and shares business with El Chapo. That's right, I said El Chapo. All the while maintaining a constant presence in such countries as Germany, Switzerland, Australia, Canada, and the United States. Although it was only recently categorized as a mafia in Italian law in 2010, the 'Ndrangheta has been around for as long as its well-known sister group, the Sicilian Cosa Nostra. The name first entered the public consciousness during the 1980s and 90s when the 'Ndrangheta carried out a series of kidnappings across Italy in what was one of the bloodiest chapters of the Calabrian history. In August of 2007, it stepped onto the global stage when an internal feud led to the public murders of 6 Italians in Duisburg, Germany. By the end of the 2000s, the 'Ndrangheta was notorious around the world for operating a major transatlantic cocaine ring. The group's singular name has Greek origins. The word Ndrangheta refers to a society of men of honor, and Ndrangato means to do military actions. Like any other mafia, the 'Ndrangheta is highly secretive and operates within a strict honor code, which are deeply embedded in the social values of Calabria. It has built a reputation on the violence of its feuds, the reliability of its business affiliates, its political influence, and its global presence. The 'Ndrangheta can move and settle in areas beyond the Calabrian region and has a flexible family-based web-like structure made up of various clans, much like Al-Qaeda. In this society, local roots count for as much as global reach. Much of what we know about the 'Ndrangheta came to light in 2010 when Operation Crimine resulted in the arrest of 305 of its members. In the subsequent court trial, anti-mafia prosecutors proved the clans in the province of Calabrian capital, Reggio Calabria, were coordinating with chambers of control in Canada, Australia, and the north of Italy. The family clans, known as Ndrin, formed strategical alliances with each other through blood or marriage ties across villages in the area. This is some old school shit. Each Ndria then shared business with affiliates and family members outside the region or internationally, while simultaneously responding to local coordination structures, such as the Crimine, the figure who is in charge of resolving issues and hostilities across the clans. Communications were mostly conducted in code over the phone, but also online when necessary. That's dangerous. Somebody will break the code. You can't have a digital paper trail of messages. It's still digital. It's still a trail. The revelation of these coordinating structures, which are primarily in the place to help the 'Ndrangheta to boost business and share risks, has led many to think 'Ndrangheta as a stable, monolithic criminal association with a strong resemblance to the Sicilian Cosa Nostra. But details learned from other anti-mafia operations portray quite a different reality. In fact, the 'Ndrangheta is a fragmented is as fragmented as the region of Calabria itself. Scholars have talked about le Calibri, plural, to highlight how different parts of the region are politically, financially, industrially, and socially diverse, and sometimes also geographically secluded. Just as there are various Calabri, so there are various Dranghete. Similar to the Drangheta we learn about through Operation Crimin, yet with important differences. While the clans are all territorial units based on blood and family ties, they do not act together under a shared strategic plan. Rather, they are often involved in different types of illegal activities, some local and others global. All Ndrangheta clans have unique structures which are either more or less centralized depending on which operations they undertake, their strengths, and their reach. In the sense, the name Ndrangheta is more like a brand. It refers to both criminal organizations like the one we heard about from Operation Crimin, but also to a set of behaviors which are adopted by disparate criminal groups. In a process of Drangestation, any group which exploits Calabria's shared culture, values, and relationships through the use of prevarication, arrogance, intimidation, violence, and subjugation while engaging in illegal activities for profit can lay claim to the name. Let me read that again. It refers to both criminal organizations like the one we heard about from Operation Crimin, but also to a set of behaviors which are adopted by disparate criminal groups. In a process of drangetization, any group which exploits Calabria's shared culture, values, and relationships through the use of prevarication, arrogance, intimidation, violence, and subjugation while engaging in illegal activities for profit can lay claim to the name. For example, clans originating from villages in the hinterland near Reggio Calabria establish themselves in Australia. From there, they can interact with Ndrangheta clans containing relatives in Canada via Calabria, while also maintaining profitable relationships with local criminal groups such as outlaw motorcycle gangs. The fact is, the misconception of the Ndrangheta as a single organization is likely to work in the advantage of such groups. By adopting these behaviors, they can invoke the Ndrangheta's formidable international reputation to exploit weak political systems, invest in new ventures, and grow. The versatility and prevalence of the Ndrangheta could also lead to innocent Calabrian migrants being incorrectly labeled as criminals. If authorities around the world are to put a stop to these activities, we must first understand the diverse and complex nature of the Ndrangheta. Listen, personally, if you ask me, they're running a real tight ship. And I think this, blood ties and marrying each other through villages to form clans and make them stronger, I think it's some old school shit. Right? So salute to, of course, my good friend Shattered, and of course Michael S. Salute to you, sir. They both sent me this article, so I appreciate that you guys got my back. All right. As usual, like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know how we do.